What ducked up thing did you do as a teen? Played with Omegle. Was very fun. Then I got into a relationship with a 15-year-old mom. I didn't actually know how to handle relationships. I was 16, so even though she told me she loved me, I ended up ghosting her because I was too stupid to know how to maturely end things. Stole money out of one of those donation cans at my job for kids with cancer. Only got caught because the woman who comes to collect it each month noticed it was pretty empty, so my bosses checked on it more and caught me once on the CCTV when I wasn't being sneaky enough. Totally fucked up on my part. I was fired. They didn't press charges and I did return the money plus more. I argued with my dad constantly. I feel awful about it now. My dad had a temper, but mostly, I was just a little shit in my rebellious phase. Now that I'm an adult, Dad says I'm the child of his that he relates to the most, and that meant so much to me. I idolized my dad when I was a kid, I was a terrible asshole to him as a teenager, and now I'm back to my dad being my hero. Me and my buddies befriended a gas station worker and would consistently steal red Sour Patches from the store. What terrible human beings we were. If you guys know the ride The Waltzers, always there at UK fairs. There was a sign that said topless girls go free, so me, F, and few other friends went on for free for a laugh. We were teens, under 18, and the ride works by men spinning the seat things by hand. They took photos of us whilst spinning and nothing we could do about it. We just laughed at the time. It didn't feel fucking up then, but knowing some guy somewhere has photos of me topless just so I could save £3 to 4 feels a bit fucked up now. A few things. One thing that came to mind was wielding a wooden sword out of a car window and screaming at a classmate, as a joke of course. I didn't realize there was a cop approaching the school as we were pulling out of my high school. The cop forcibly removed me from the vehicle, threw me in a snowbank and arrested me in front of my high school. Luckily the charges were dropped and it's now a funny story. There was a guy that I fucking hated at work. Just a real dirtbag kind of guy. Well, work only has one restroom. I'm finishing my business and I hear a knock at the door. It's dirtbag telling me to hurry up because he has to take a fucking crap. I tell him I'll be out in a minute. So I grab the can of Lysol and pull out about 3 feet of toilet paper and spray it down a bit. Roll it all the way back. Unfortunately one of the other guys jumps the queue for the bathroom in front of dirtbag. For the rest of the day that dude is scratching his ass and shifting uncomfortably. In 7th grade my best friend asked me if I would go and ask the boy she liked if he liked her and if he would go out with her. I went over and asked him if he liked her, he said no, then I asked if he liked me, he said yes, and then I asked him to be my boyfriend, he said yes. Then I went right back to my friend and told her that he didn't like her, but that he liked me and was now my boyfriend. I don't know why I did that. I would occasionally find crushed used cigars on a sidewalk near my high school and smoke them, thinking I was a badass and inhaling them like an idiot, which you're not supposed to do with cigars. Multiple suicide attempts. Probably darker than others on here, but I'm glad I'm still standing. When I was about 12-13, I had a short phase of stealing from charity shops and this little sweet shop in my town. I still feel really shitty about it now. I was old enough to know better, but I liked the thrill of it. I'm going to donate to charities whenever I can when I'm an adult, but I don't think the guilt of it will ever leave me. I took advantage of the fact that my mom was emotionally weak. I'd argue with her just to get her to cry and win the argument. I had no appreciation for how great my mom was and the sacrifices she made for me and my brother. Today I'm not like that anymore, but I wish that I could go back and treat her the way she is supposed to be treated. Won't exchange her for the world. Edit, Grandma. Made dinner wrong one night and my mom accused me of sabotage. Apparently this was a hell of an offense. It is now a sibling inside joke. I was really messed up mentally after my best friend broke my heart and ghosted me. I gave up my virginity to a 42-year-old man when I was 17. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but that fucked me up even more. A month after that, I got into a relationship with a 23-year-old who was homeless and jobless. I would sneak him into my parents' house every night. He turned out to be emotionally and sexually abusive. I didn't get out of that relationship until I was in college because I moved to a different city. Got confused about religious morality, so snorted things rather than drank. I mean, teenage drinking did eventually happen, but after like a year of snorting. I've only got 3 years left of being a teenager and I haven't done anything fucked up so far. Any tips to avoid making any mistakes? I was living in a group home for 6 months and there was one girl who was a total bitch. A lot of us were going through stuff and could have been just as hostile, but for the most part we all just defaulted to friendship except her. So as a courtesy to her, to make her cognizant of what would happen in the real world if she kept treating people the way she treated people, I may or may not have put Nair in her conditioner. 17-year-old me learned fighting fire with fire is no bueno. Edit, words. Drive 100 kilometers just to get ice cream, on a school day. Late teens, 18. I was a bartender at a nightclub and got drunk almost every night I worked. Drove home after every shift between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Looking back, now 28, it's one of the biggest regrets I have. Peeing in my older sister's shampoo. Never said I regret it. Used a family member's electric toothbrush to masturbate. It would be fair to say that my sister and I did not get along as teenagers, but that really doesn't communicate the violence and abuse involved. Childhood was kind of problematic. We worked it out eventually. Broke another kid's nose because he tried to bully me into giving him my lunch allowance. Used Tinder when I was 15 to try to hook up with older men. It still took them 3 months to ban me. Lied to my parents for 3 years about dating a boy I said was gay. When I broke up with him he got very abusive and the school had to get involved. When my parents found out, I told the school they were verbally abusive to me, didn't lie, just said the right things at the right time, and social services got called. Nothing serious happened to my parents, but they tested me for STDs, including HIV and syphilis, without my consent. I was dating an older guy while I was in high school. His younger sister was a grade or 2 above me and was a bitch. She was straight out of an episode of Hoarders in her room and it was absolutely filthy. So one day she brings home a kitten and I'm steaming mad because she's not gonna take care of it at all. And sure enough, once the novelty wore off, I would be the one cleaning the litter when I could, etc. And because it was locked up away from people, it was basically feral and would lurch out and attack everyone in the house. When he moved out, I took out a lot of the turds from the litter box and stuffed them into the fitted sheet, pillowcases and mattress box, etc., since she never changed it. Preteen, used to lie by the roadside like I had been hit by a car with my body folded awkwardly half in the road. Whenever someone would stop I would get up and run away. My friends and I would roam a few neighborhoods over and we would tear down people's Christmas lights. I have always regretted it and wish there was some way I could apologize and make restitution. Late 70s. Used to meet men I contacted on Craigslist at an abandoned lot down the street from my house. We'd have sex either in their car or behind the burned down house. One guy asked me to take pictures of him as he blew me. I was 16, so legal to consent, but not legal to take pictures. He knew but didn't care. I took the pictures, he gave me $40. Smeared the word snarkill in my own shitter to IHOP restroom after finding out they discontinued the popcorn shrimp basket. Jumped of a 5-story building while drunk and depressed. Broke a hand, foot and some ribs. I woke up in hospital the next day where I was advised I was not allowed to leave. They didn't have my ID or name, so I got out of there by stealth. Cut off my casts with a hacksaw 3 months later. Took a shit in a park water fountain during the middle of the night. Not sure what possessed me to do that. We were also driving our cars around the baseball fields. I was a dumb, stupid teenager once upon a time. I'm glad I stopped because it could have really turned into something worse. I used to catch black widow spiders around the house and put them in a glass cup. Then I would put the glass cup on a frying pan with the cup opening on the pan, so the spider would be touching the pan. I would then proceed to light the gas stove top and watch the spider dance its way to death. I did this to at least 30 or 40 spiders. I still feel bad. Never got caught either.